sparks flew in April 2017.
भाजपा की सरकार बनते ही इन छोटे किसानों का कर्ज माफ कर दिया जाएगा.
After Yogi Adityanath took oath as the Chief Minister, farmers of Uttar Pradesh got a historic farm loan waiver. And so it began. Farmers across the country demanding that states adopt what is now being dubbed the UP Farm Loan Waiver Model. The farmers' protest first echoed in the corridors of power when farmers from Tamil Nadu ghered out the Prime Minister's office. But the actual tremors were felt when powerful farmers of Maharashtra took to the streets with their list of demands. Citizens felt the pinch as vegetable prices doubled and tripled a day after the farmers took to the streets. It was Madhya Pradesh's turn next, where the farmers' protest took a violent twist.
देखो, ऐसा है, किसानों के लिए मुझे नहीं लगता कि पैसों की कोई अड़चन आ पाएगी, और अड़चन आती भी है तो भी हम किसानों के कर्ज मुक्ति के लिए पैसा जमा करेंगे.
And now, just over a week after violence spiraled out of control, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh undertook a day's fast to appease angry farmers, while in Maharashtra, the government announced a blanket farm loan waiver. After Maharashtra, other states are now being expected to follow suit. But as debt-ridden states start doling out farm loans, Mirror now asks, where will the money come from? Can these debt-ridden states afford to waive off farm loans? Mirror Now report.
Well, of course, this is the important question. There has been a demand for farm loan waivers. We understood when UP handed out its farm loan waiver, it costed the state 36,000 crore rupees. Maharashtra estimates initially were for about 30,000 crore rupees. We now understand that it may be a total waiver to all farmers of up to 1 lakh each. What is that going to cost us, and where will the money come from, especially for Maharashtra, which is a state that's already heavily in debt? The question we're asking is important, viewers, because this money is your money. This is not magically going to come out of the boxes behind the government offices. This is tax money that you have paid, which is why it's important for us to understand where will the money come from. Also, take a look at what the finance minister said as far as the central government helping out the states was concerned.
I've already made the position concerned that states which want to go in for these kind of schemes will have to generate them from their own resources. Beyond that, as the central government, I have nothing more to say.
Well, there's no money coming in then based on that response from the central government, which means that every state has to decide where the money is going to come from. Remember, every state has a finite, it has a definite amount of money. If money is going to go through the farm loan waivers, it has to come out of somewhere else. States will have to cut their spending on other things. Where will that money come from? Joining me right now is Mirror Now senior editor Mandar Fanse. Mandar, thank you for joining us. We're getting information now that Maharashtra's loan is likely to be uniform across the board for all farmers, 1 lakh each. But do we have a fix right now? We know that the government of Maharashtra at least is working on a number. Is there a ballpark of how much this will cost Maharashtra as a state?
As of now, the estimated cost is around 30,000 crores to 35,000 crores in totality. If the government, as they have accepted that principally they are ready to waive off all the loans of all kind of farmers amongst all the tiers available in Maharashtra. That means as far as the small marginal farmers are concerned, their loan is already waived off. The cap will be whether on the money side of it or the land holding side of it. That needs to be decided. There are really it's really a tightrope kind of a situation for the government to even pacify the farmer steering committee members also, because there are various demands, and coming to terms on a one particular formula will be very, very difficult to in the days to come, because the deadline is really fast approaching. The farmers have already given a deadline to the government, and there is no clarity between the breakup of the numbers, the overall projected cost, and how much is the breakup between that particular projected cost given to the small and marginal farmers, and how much is the amount which is there for the larger part of the farmers is not yet cleared, and that number is not yet arrived by the government. So the machinery is really up.
Mandar, tell me this. Obviously, this is Pandora's box that has now been opened by the Uttar Pradesh government for handing out that first waiver. And from what we understand, estimates tell us that if every state were to hand out a waiver, it would cost 3 lakh crore rupees. Compare this to the first waiver given out by the UPA government, which amounted to about 52,000 crore rupees. Now, do you believe that every state, given the politics of every state, is going to be under pressure because farmers are going to now all demand their pound of flesh? There's no reason, as far as the farmer in Tamil Nadu is concerned or Karnataka, why they shouldn't receive a waiver if Madhya Pradesh or Maharashtra or UP is getting a waiver.
Right. Actually, there is a catch-22 situation for all the state governments right now, because already the center is not really parting with to share with the burden which states would possibly bear. At the same time, the overall outstanding as on to 2016 March cap, if we say that is a staggering amount of 12,60,000 crore rupees across India. So if that is to be chased by all the states, it will be really a big numbers to be look at. But apart from that, obviously from where this money would come, that's the key question, and that question needs to be answered by various governments with whatever revenue resources they have.
Well, of course, that's the big question. And you know, I want to bring to your notice, Mandar, while the BJP in various states is currently, battling the demand for farm loan waivers and where the money is going to come from, the BJP is in opposition in Karnataka. It has demanded a farm loan waiver. It has gone as far as saying that if the Karnataka government doesn't hand out a waiver, then it is going to be an anti-farmer government. So what this actually tells us is that across party lines, this is being politicized. We've also seen on the channel how 3 different videos have emerged of various members of the Congress party instigating protesters and instigating violence. So while, there might be smaller state level gains here for various political parties, the larger bill is in the name of the taxpayer.
Obviously, the money which will come from the revenue resources of the states, but at the same time, this will be definitely politicized in the days to come also, because it's not so easy to waive off all these loans for any government. Keep aside just Maharashtra government, the way they have already accepted the demands, looking at the growing agitation in the state. When the criteria will come up clear in the days to come, even in Maharashtra, it will be even a chaotic situation, and it won't be a situation where all the farmer organizations, they won't easily agree upon those criteria, because those criteria will segregate many farmers from the actual farmers who will be possibly benefited, either on the counts of their loan amount or either on the counts of their overall land holdings. So and again, one important criteria will be on the irrigated land or non-irrigated land loans. So it all is a very complex matrix the government will have to deal with.
All right, Mandar, thank you for joining us. Mandar is our senior editor here at Mirror Now, who brings us an on-the-ground clear view of what's happening with the farmers specifically. So here's the question we're asking this evening, viewers. You as a taxpayer pay tax every time you buy something, especially fuel, and this is the money that goes into your state coffer, whichever your state coffer is. The VAT that you pay on every product and every service, and of course the state VAT you pay on fuel and everything else you use, this is how the state makes money. Now, where is that money going to go? And if these farm loans are going to be handed out from each state, it's going to come out of your pocket. It's very important to understand how these states are going to manage their resources. Joining me on the show this evening, Vishwas Pathak, spokesperson of the BJP. Venkateshwar is a senior advocate and political analyst. He's also the General Secretary of the Congress, Karnataka Pradesh Congress party, which is, of course, the party that runs the Karnataka government. Rajeev Mishra is an RTI activist. Sumanth Raman is a political commentator. I want to go to Sumanth Raman first. Mr. Raman, obviously, this is now a political hot potato. Every state is going to demand its pound of flesh. Opposition in every state, irrespective of which party it is lighting fires for governments to have to put out. But the bill finally is for the taxpayer to pay.
No, and the important thing is, even if it is going to achieve something lasting or permanent, there can be some justification for it. But you must, if you go and look at the big picture, I mean, you will have to understand that writing off, first of all, the indebtedness of the farmer is not necessarily only due to loans that they have taken from nationalized banks. There is a huge problem of the local money lenders. How is this going to address that? It's not going to address that. So it is not as if, you know, you wave a magic wand, you write off all the loans and everything is, and all his problems in life are solved. It is not. The second very, very important point is the money that is actually being plowed into writing off these loans. Even if a fraction of that was plowed into increasing agricultural productivity, which is eventually what is going to keep the farmer alive, that is, you know, it would be a huge impact for the country. Instead, what are we doing? Every state is starting 30,000 crore UP, Maharashtra now 30,000 crore. Tamil Nadu already wrote off 5,700 crore last year, and now the courts have said write off another 1,700 crore. I mean, it is a tragedy. It is a tragedy of colossal proportions that pure politics is being played, and the farmers themselves are being cheated. Honestly, forget about the damage that is being done to the credit, the credit system. Next time, not a single farmer who has repaid in the previous cycle is ever going to think of repaying a loan, because you are wrecking his confidence. What is he getting out of the system? There are farmers who have borrowed from relatives and repaid the bank loan. What are they getting out of it? This is a colossal fraud being perpetuated on the farmers in the name of doing them good. It is not going to yield anything significant even in the medium term. It is not even solving their problem. So there are so many issues that are wrong with it. At some point of time, the public and the farmers need to be educated about this. Otherwise, this is going to continue because it's a vote issue.
Right, let me just open this up right now to the two political parties who are represented on the channel, Vishwas Pathak and of course Mr. Venkateshwar, who joins us right now from the Congress party. Vishwas Pathak, is in this plain politics? And who is going to pay the bill, Vishwas Pathak?
See, as far as BJP is concerned, whether we are in opposition or whether we are in power, our policies are always in favor of farmers and their development. As far as loans waiver is concerned, BJP was never against the waiver of the loan. However, our policy was very clear that waiver of loan is not the only option, is not the only solution. There are many solutions to be provided to the farmers, like giving good irrigation facilities, electricity, seed related areas and everything. And over and above, farm loan waiver is one of the options. Now, with this farmer loan waiver, which Maharashtra government has announced, we are committed to give this waiver. 8 days back, Honorable CM has conducted a meeting with the representative of the farmers, and he has already made up his mind what our government intended to do. However, because of this political reasons and all that thing, again a new set of leaders came in picture. Yesterday they had meeting with our representatives, and the waiver of loan in first instance with immediate effect is given to those who are holding a quantum of loan up to 1 lakh rupees irrespective of land holding.
So, okay, so tell me something. You just said because of political interference. So, you believe that there is opposition political parties who are instigating this protest?
Of course, they were instigating. As I told you, our CM has been consistently maintaining that we are not against the waiver of the loan. However, a waiver of the loan should not be the first step to be taken. First steps to be taken was to increase the irrigation facilities, supply power to the farmers to their requirement, and provide all seed related supports.
Let's go to Venkateshwar of the Congress party. Mr. Venkateshwar, couple of things have emerged. There are videos of members of your party instigating protests. Is it true that your party is instigating protests? And then how are you going to handle the demand for a farm loan waiver within your own state? How will Karnataka pay for its farm loan waiver? Where is the money going to come from?
It is a very false allegation that our workers have instigated the violence. I totally deny it, lock, stock and barrel. This is a very wrong allegation. I deny it. And then the farmers loan issue is a national issue. Throughout the country, every state farmers are suffering because of the successive droughts and poor rainfall and various reasons that have gone into it. I only speak for Karnataka now. Karnataka government has done exceedingly well with regard to mitigating the suffering of the farmers. And Karnataka Chief Minister on the floor of the Assembly has made a statement that Karnataka government is prepared to waive the loan of farmers, provided Government of India also comes forward from waiving its portion of the loan. When that is the position.
Tell me something. According to estimates, the Karnataka farm loan waiver will cost 48,000 crore rupees. Where is the 48,000 crore rupees going to come for a state that already owes 37,000 crore rupees?
No, that's the reason. 48,000 crores consist of Government of India portion plus Karnataka government portion. To my knowledge, approximately 30% of 48,000 crores is the Karnataka's portion, whereas remaining 70% is Government of India's portion. That's why Karnataka Chief Minister has repeatedly appealing to Government of India to come forward to waive off its portion of the loan to farmers, so that Karnataka government is ready to waive off its portion of the loan. But Government of India is not coming forward to the help of Karnataka. They appear to be playing politics into that.
No. What do you mean by Government of India portion?
Therefore,
what do you mean by Government of India portion? Can you please explain that?
Yeah, is the central. Yeah, exactly. I'll explain you.
What you mean.
The loans given by nationalized. The loan given to farmers by nationalized banks.
Very good.
Fall to
Why can't the Karnataka government pay the nationalized bank and write off the loan?
The cooperative banks.
How is that? What has that got to do with Government of India? The government of India
the government of nationalized banks are controlled by
Government of India.
Government of India.
You have not understood the basic principle.
No,
I'm sorry. They are not lending on behalf of
nationalized banks is the property of Government of India.
No. So then what you're saying is fundamentally that nationalized banks should not lend to farmers anymore. Okay, hang on. You are misleading the nation. One second.
No, you don't understand.
This argument doesn't make any sense. What do you mean that because if the loan belongs to a nationalized bank, it should be paid by the Government of India?
It's a question of fact. Please verify your facts.
So explain to me, Mr. Venkateshwar, if you're saying the loan is by a government, a nationalized bank, it should be paid by the Government of India. How does that make sense?
Government from paying the nationalized banks to write off the loan.
No. I repeat again. Farmers' loan consisting of both Government of India. When Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, he waived off 75,000 crore loan to farmers from Government of India. What prevents present government to do the same thing?
Okay, let me actually bring it right now.
That was all over India, not for one state.
You understand?
Let me ask this question.
India, sir. That was not for one state.
In 2013-14, Government of India waived loans worth 75,000 crores.
Loans all over India.
What prevents present Government of India to do the same?
That was for all over India.
If they are really concerned about the farmers.
If they're really concerned about the farmers, let me bring in the farmers. Satyajit Hange and Yogesh Pande right now.
You have to address the issue of nation, not only Karnataka.
Good evening, everybody.
Satyajit, I want to ask you this question. Mr. Vishwas Pathak tells us that in Maharashtra right now, the proposal that is being considered is a 1 lakh waiver for every farmer, irrespective of what the land holding is. So if there is a farmer with only one acre of land and 1 lakh loan, he will get a 1 lakh loan waiver. If there is a farmer with 100 acres of land and 100 lakhs loan, he will get a 1 lakh waiver. Is that something the farmers will be happy with, Satyajit?
So basically you are saying, Faye, that every farmer will be entitled to a 1 lakh waiver. That's it?
Yes.
As far as I understand.
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, before we start this debate, I know the debate is already heated up. Let me thank the government of Maharashtra, the Honorable CM, the Sukanu Committee for considering the loan waivers and for approving them in principle. And let me thank Mirror now for picking up this issue from the last entire fortnight. Insightful debate with a lot of empathy for the farmer issues and making this happen. Let me come back to your question, Faye. If what the government is considering a 1 lakh label for all the farmers across land holdings, I feel it is principally wrong. I mean, the farmer who has a land holding of 20-25 acres and a farmer who has a land holding of 1 acre, naturally the kind of investment, the kind of risk that the farmer has taken, who has a larger land holding, is in multiples of the small farmer. So how there is no comparison. I mean, this shouldn't be just lip service or for namesake that we have given you a loan waiver. It should be in the spirit also.
Vishwas Pathak, lip service.
Yeah, no, I just want to mention, see, with retrospective effect, immediate relief which is granted by yesterday's meeting is that those who are holding small land, lesser than 5 acres of land, and loan up to 1 lakh rupees, they will get immediate relief and they can go for fresh loan if they want for this cultivation period. For others, it is a question of detailing. Committee will be comprising of 5 members from government, 5 members from farmers, and that committee will evaluate the entitlements of the other farmers.
So what will it cost Maharashtra, Vishwas Pathak?
It is a question of detailing. It may be 20,000, it may be 35,000. It is a question of detailing, but roughly around 30,000 is being talked about as a total consolidated figure.
Where will this money come from?
See, normally money doesn't come from any magic stick. It has to come from 2-3 traditional things only. One, government has to take the measures of reduction of cost. Secondly, increase their revenue. And thirdly, selling of the assets or disbursements of the investments. Other than 3, government will have to work out some other avenues which may, really not burden our people of Maharashtra.
Let me put out to you right now, according to the Times of India, what the State Chief Minister has said. We will have to cut expenditure on key projects and social welfare schemes. We will have to ban all types of recruitment within the government. At least 30% posts in different departments which have been lying vacant for a prolonged period. It was proposed we'll fill them up in this current financial year. We will decide not to fill those posts if it helps us mobilize resources. We will have to, it also says there's a prospect of a good monsoon. He said the government may be able to save 10,000 crore rupees which would have been provided as relief to drought-stricken areas. We know that the Maharashtra allocation to drought relief was already reduced this year. It will be reduced even further, which means that we're taking money out of recruitment at a time when we are facing as a country what can only be described as a job crisis. And I want to bring in Santosh Mehrotra, who joins us right now. Santosh Mehrotra, the government of Maharashtra will have to freeze recruitment this year. 30% of the posts in government offices to pay for the farm loan waiver. The state is already heavily in debt. How much of this makes sense at this point?
You're right. Well, it's in some ways inevitable. Let's just remember that in our wonderful country, jobs in government have not grown for about 20 years. Jobs in government have in any case been dropping in total numbers. So if the government of Maharashtra says that it is going to freeze recruitment, well, the recruitment was frozen in any case. What they might have possibly recruited, they will not do. That's essentially what is going to happen. So it's only what's already happening. So why are we surprised?
But
the only way a rich state like Maharashtra should be able to pay for this sort of thing is by collecting more taxes. Own revenues for Maharashtra should be much greater than what they are. But then you should be asking all the urban people who are supposed to be paying taxes and who keep evading taxes or stashing money abroad, how come the government is not
That's a good question.
focusing
That's a
on
good
them?
question. Rajeev Mishra?
फिर मैं एक चीज़ आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि किसानों को मदद पहुंचानी चाहिए, ये तो बहुत ज़रूरी बात है, लेकिन आपको मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि आपने कोई मूल्यांकन नहीं किया किस साल में ड्रॉट से कितना फसल का कम उत्पादन हुआ और हमारे ऊपर लोन का भार किसानों पर कितना पड़ा। आपके पास ऐसा कोई मैकेनिज्म नहीं है। आपको पहले तो 5 साल का आपको एक अध्ययन करना चाहिए कि किस किस साल में कितने पैदावार की कमी हुई और क्या रियल रीज़न है ड्रॉट या फसल की पैदाइशी में कमी, ये क्या रियल रीजन है फार्मर्स के सुसाइड के पीछे? पहले तो आपको इस बात का अध्ययन करना चाहिए। दूसरी बात है फिर कि बैंक लोन के द्वारा जो सुसाइड करने वाले किसान हैं उनकी संख्या कितनी है और साहूकारों के लोन के द्वारा सुसाइड करने वाले किसानों की संख्या कितनी है, इसका कोई मैकेनिज्म हमारे यहाँ नहीं है। अभी आपको मैं बताना चाहता हूँ फिर आप जो भी क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं कि पैसा कहां से आएगा। इसमें तो कोई दो राय नहीं कि गवर्नमेंट के पास बहुत इजी उपाय है कि जैसे 2 रुपए वैट आपने देखा था ड्रॉट को लेकर के हमारे पेट्रोल प्राइसेस पे बढ़ा दिया, इनके पास 10 रास्ते हैं जो हम लोगों के ऊपर ये बर्डन डाल देंगे और शायद हम विरोध भी नहीं करेंगे। आपको मैं बताना चाहता हूं एक छोटा सा उदाहरण जीएसटी लेवल पे आपको मैं बताना चाहता हूं। अभी तक जो आप मकान खरीदती हैं वो मकान पे आपको 4.5% सर्विस टैक्स और आपको 1% वैट देना पड़ता है। अभी जीएसटी आ जाएगा तो 6% सर्विस टैक्स सेंट्रल का और 6% सर्विस टैक्स।
Rajeev Mishra, I want to come back to something that Vishwas Pathak of the BJP said. Vishwas Pathak ji, आपने कहा and you were convinced that it is opposition parties that are pushing this protest, if I am not mistaken.
Yes.
अच्छा, तो आप मुझे ये बताइए कि कर्नाटका में जहां पे ऑपोजिशन बीजेपी है, बीजेपी वालों ने ये बोला कि अगर दे डिमांड अ फुल फार्म लोन वेवर एंड इफ द गवर्नमेंट डज नॉट गिव अ फार्म लोन वेवर इन कर्नाटका, इट इज अ एंटी फार्मर गवर्नमेंट, व्हिच मींस दैट विद इन द पार्टी लाइंस यू हैव डिफरेंट स्टैंड्स इन डिफरेंट स्टेट्स.
No, not at all. What I spoke about the context of Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, our CM has been consistently maintaining that we are not against loan waiver and we will waive it at appropriate time. But loan waiver is not the only solution, and therefore the way it was instigated in last 15 days, it was purely a political
तो कर्नाटका में आप लोग वही बात फिर से क्यों मतलब दोहरा रहे हो फिर?
See, every state has got different.
अच्छा, तो कर्नाटका में एंटी फार्मर गवर्नमेंट है, लेकिन महाराष्ट्र में नहीं है.
About the problems, about the farmers' problems, every state has got different situation, and in every state, the steps and mechanism can be different. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, we had to waive these loans, but we were very clear that that is not the only solution.
फिर मैं तो ये बोलना चाहूंगा, विश्वास पाठक जी शायद गलत बोल रहे हैं, इन्होंने ही ये पूरे आंदोलन को जन्म दिया है। अगर आप यूपी में लोन वेव नहीं करते थे, वेव ऑफ नहीं करते थे, तो सब जगह डिमांड नहीं होती थी। आपने शुरुआत किया है और अब आप दूसरे पार्टी पर ढकेल रहे हैं। दूसरी चीज, जहां आप गवर्नमेंट में नहीं है वहां आप डिमांड करते हैं, जहां आप गवर्नमेंट में है आपके खिलाफ डिमांड किया जाता है तो आप कहते हैं कि दूसरी पार्टी के लोग इंसिस्ट कर रहे हैं। ये पूरा एक पॉलिटिकल ड्रामा है जो हर पार्टी के लोग करते हैं किसानों के नाम पर। अभी आप
आज किसान आईसीयू में है, इसलिए उसको लोन वेवर चाहिए।
एक मिनट, सत्यजीत, nobody is arguing. See,
I'll put the white case.
No, one second. I'm coming to you, Yogesh Pande. Nobody is arguing right now the waiver. This is something that the state governments have to make a decision on. We're talking about where is the money going to come from, which we have to answer as citizens.
Exactly.
Because this is taxpayer money. We have to be very clear about the fact that the money is coming from responsible areas, and we should also be very clear that it's not coming out of healthcare, it's not coming out of education, things that we cannot sacrifice. As a country, we cannot make sacrifices out of these heads.
Where did 1,25 crore from the year 2013 to 2016 to waive off or to restructure corporate debts come from? I mean, you see, the corporate loans are in disguise. And the central government says that
Satyajit, I'll tell you where the loans. I'll tell you where the loan came from, where that money came from. It came from 1/3 of my salary. Okay, that when the salaried middle class.
It came from the interest paid by farmers. Fail. Let me add something more. The farmers of this country are the wealth generator for the bank. Entire banking system is running on the farmers' interest paid. The farmers are largest consumer for banking industry. For the years and decades, farmers have been paying interest, and on that interest, banking sector is earning huge profit. Now, if you see the land which is mortgaged with the bank, the value of the land is huge. It is a crore rupees land, and farmers get 5-7 lakh rupees, 3-4 lakh rupees loan. On the other side, corporate sector, by inflating their assets, by showing the false figure, they are milking the money, and we have seen in the past. Now, Mr. Malya, how you escape from nation?
Well, okay. Let me bring in Santosh Mehrotra. Santosh Mehrotra is an economist. Is that a fair assessment of the problem? Santosh Mehrotra and Sumanth Raman, is this a fair assessment of the problem, Mr. Mehrotra, that farmers are keeping their land with banks, they're paying interest, so they're actually generating huge revenues for banks? Because let's remember, a lot of times farm loans are already subsidized because they pay lower interest rates. In Madhya Pradesh, for example, the loans are interest free. Santosh Mehrotra.
You're broadly right, Faye. The fact of the matter is that only relatively medium and large size farmers are able to take loans from the banks. most of the loans that smaller farmers, marginal farmers, they first of all are unable to take loans in the first place.
Yes.
When they, may I please finish? I was not interrupting you when you were speaking, sir.
It's a wrong
so
observation.
The small and marginal farmers
in Maharashtra
usually do not even
state.
approach the bigger bank.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I was not interrupting you when you were speaking.
Mr.
Please let me finish. Otherwise, I'm going to leave this channel.
One second. Finish your point, Mr. Mehrotra. Please let him finish his point. Satyajit.
So the point is a very small proportion of all farmers take loans from banks. So, I mean, whoever is saying, that, banks sort of are dependent upon farm loans is living in his own world. Most of the lending is to urban sector industries and service sector enterprises. They are not to farms at all. There is a limit to how much farmers can actually take loans, and it's only the medium and large ones which are able to. The small ones usually take it from money lenders, from non-institutional sources. So this is the bottom line. So, he doesn't need to sort of, throw dust in our eyes by telling us that the banks survive on the basis of loans given to farmers.
14 lakh crore loan has been disbursed by a banking system to the farm sector, agriculture sector.
We have these numbers.
Most gently, most politely, I just want to correct your
Yogesh Pande, I have the numbers. All right.
Sir, a multiple of that goes to industry. A multiple. And to services.
14 lakh crore. I have just checked this figure. 14 lakh crore.
Right, I want to bring in Sumanth Raman. Right. Sumanth Raman.
Has been long-term debt. And 6 lakh crore has been agriculture loan.
Sumanth Raman, there are a couple of problems here. One is, yes, I'll accept 14 lakh crore rupees outstanding loans of farmers, out of which 7 lakh crore are crop loans across the country. 1.45 lakh crore from regional rural banks, 1.57 cooperative banks, 9 lakh crore rupees from commercial bank loans. But Sumanth Raman, where is the money going to come from is my question. None of our states have money. The Union Finance Minister has turned around and said, I'm leaving it to the states. Let them make their decision. Let them find the money wherever they want to find the money.
Maharashtra is a contributor of 30%. Now we are I'll just put one point.
One second. Let Sumanth Raman speak and I'll come back to you. Right now, all of these states are in debt. None of these states have the finances to provide these loan waivers. Where is the money going to come from? And they are all under political pressure. Several of them are entering an election year.
No, I think it's very clear where the money is going to come from. It's going to come from more borrowing, which means your debt to GDP ratio will actually become worse. But I think that there are some states, certainly states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, or some states, Karnataka, they are states who still have a reasonable sort of cushion to borrow a little more. Now, whether they should be borrowing and whether that borrowing should be put to productive use or not is a different question altogether. There are two things I just want to point out. One, with every passing year, agriculture as a percentage of our GDP is going down. So there have been studies done in multiple states that have done loan waivers in the past. And consistently it has been found, two things have been found, that the condition of the farmer in those states was not being improved significantly economically after the loan waiver, and two, that the credit, the tendency to repay loans suffered. Now there are enough studies done, you can just go and Google it, you'll get dozens of studies which have shown that the so-called measure which is being done in the best interest of the farmer actually do not help the farmers so much. Another important issue we have to remember, and this is very important, the loan which is taken by a farmer is not necessarily taken for a crop. So very often you find that loans which are getting written off are loans which the farmer has taken but has used for a marriage or some other expenditure in the family. So another huge problem is that the assumption that once I waive the loan, he can take a fresh credit and he can start planting again. It is not borne out at all. So there are multiple reasons why this is just bad economics. And it is not, okay, even if it is going to significantly help the farmer, it should be done. But it is not going to help the farmer. That is the tragedy of this whole thing.
Right, right. You know, I want to ask a couple of questions. I'll start with Vishwas Pathak, and I'm also going to ask this of the Congress party. Question number one, you both said, both BJP and Congress said, the current state of farmers is, its problem is not our fault. This is drought, this is rains, these are the gods. Of course it is your fault. It was your responsibility to put in irrigation. It was your responsibility to make sure that our farmers in 2017 are not dependent on the gods for rain, that they actually have other options, better options, and they have stability. The fact that we're still, like we did at the time of independence, looking to the heavens for rains every year for our farmers is absolutely ridiculous. My next question is, Vishwas Pathak, why does the Chief Minister think that he has to cut jobs and spending on important things like drought relief? Let him cut all of the junkets that his ministers go on. Let him cut all of the leakages in his system. Let him cut all of the security expenditure that all the VVIPs within the government are receiving. There are several uncomfortable cuts that the government can take, which they will not take. What is the bill right now within the Maharashtra government for junkets that the ministers go on? Vishwas Pathak.
So number one, when cost-cutting measures would be taken, it will be taken all across. Nobody will be spared. Secondly, you blanketly said politicians are responsible. I must tell you about Maharashtra. In the last 2.5 years, around 12 lakh hectares of land is under irrigation. This Jaliyukta Shivar project is really successful. We are giving power to farmers from 8 hours to 12 hours when they need it. So there are some long-term measures already taken, and the benefits of the same can be seen in coming years. Loan waiver is a short-term measure which was also equally required, and therefore we are doing it. While saying that, I just want to clarify for your viewers, there is always a difference between this loan waiver and corporate loans. In this loan waiver, government will be replaced, rather farmers will be replaced by government, and government will take over the loan, wherein loan get extinguished as far as farmers are concerned. In corporate, what happens? They just reclassify from NPA to other state, and the liability still remains.
Exactly.
The hanging sword is always on the borrower. Therefore, one cannot just go away. So that and this are altogether different. Those who are cheaters, they will always be punished. We don't have to defend. But in business also, sometimes because of the change in dynamics, projects goes to the toss and there are losses incurred.
Right, Rajeev Mishra.
मैं आपको इनको पाठक साहब को मैं थोड़ा सा करेक्ट कर दूं. पिछले 5 साल में 2,22,000 करोड़ रुपए हम लोगों ने राइट ऑफ किया है सिर्फ 5 सालों में, कॉर्पोरेट जगत के या जो कहें कि शहरी क्षेत्रों के जो इंडस्ट्री वगैरह हैं उनके 2,22,000 करोड़ रुपए हम लोगों ने राइट ऑफ किया है. दूसरा बात मैं आपको बताना चाहता था फिर कि 3 लाख करोड़ रुपए का हम ऑलरेडी कर्ज में हैं. ये स्टेट 3 लाख करोड़ की कर्जदार है. उसके बाद हम इस तरह के अगर कोई डिसीजन लेते हैं, मैं फार्मर्स के लोन वेव ऑफ करने को मैं कभी भी विरोध नहीं कर रहा. अगर जिनको जरूरत है उनको मदद मिलनी चाहिए, लेकिन आपको कुछ तो मैकेनिज्म लाना पड़ेगा. आप पहले से 3 लाख करोड़ के कर्ज में हैं, उसके बाद आप इतना बड़ा बर्डन लेने जा रहे हैं. फिर आपको प्रायोरिटी, इस राज्य की प्रायोरिटी आपने एम्प्लॉयमेंट को कट कर दिया. अरे एम्प्लॉयमेंट जैसा इंपॉर्टेंट चीज अगर गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में आप एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऐसे ही घटता जा रहा है, उस पर से आप जो वैकेंसीज हैं उसको भी अगर आप पूरा नहीं करेंगे तो इसका पूरा असर जो गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर की सर्विसेज हैं उस पर पड़ने वाली है.
But Rajeev Mishra, where should the money come from? The money has to come from somewhere.
मैंने बताया ना, हम और आप देंगे, क्योंकि हमको आदत पड़ चुकी है ना सहने की, और गवर्नमेंट ये अच्छी तरह जानते हैं कि हमको सहने की आदत है. ये हम पर दबाव बनाएंगे और हमसे लेंगे और हम कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे, ये भी बिल्कुल क्लियर है. क्योंकि हमारे और आपके बीच में किसान के जो आंदोलन करने वाले जो नेता हैं या फिर इनके जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के जो नेता हैं जो अपने पॉलिटिकल कार्यकर्ताओं को लीड करते हैं, वैसे लीडर हमारे पास नहीं है. हम सब अलग अलग अपनी अपनी जीविका में ही परेशान रहते हैं.
So you're saying the middle class has no representation. Well, unfortunately, the political representation should be representation for the middle class. Jaya is on the phone line from Mumbai. Jaya, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to say that it's a welcome move to address the farmers' unrest, which had grown, which was quite alarming in the past 10 days. Yes. But it has to be taken with a large ounce of salt. You see, the government should first immediately ensure that these factors, they want a minimum support price, and they should ensure that the farmer does not suffer when there's a bumper crop or bad harvest. You must see that you have a better procurement price, crop rotation, uninterrupted electricity, water, because our country has got very rich resources when it comes to water. Why can't the government, which was already suggested earlier by some parliamentarians, that on a national level link all the rivers and see that all the states have enough water so that this will not be a grouse, and this has to be addressed. Then logistics. And some economists have also suggested, have cautioned the government against loan waivers because the entire country, all the states are in a deficit, and further loan waivers are going to cause a lot of, it is horrifying, the scenario which is going to ensue because of these loan waivers. Instead, you can give them interest-free loans and some alternative to loan waivers. And I would also like to bring to your notice and the channel that there are many rich farmers, and why can't they and the politicians bear the brunt by at least giving a portion of their because their entire life is free. They don't have to pay for anything. They should keep some percentage, 5 to 10% of their salary for all these during such disasters.
That's a good question. Let me bring that question to Vishwas Pathak. Why is it the government doesn't consider there are some farmers with hundreds of acres of land making crores of rupees every year? Why can't they bear the burden to some extent by bearing some income tax? Why is it the government will absolutely refuse to charge tax for the people who are obviously very, very rich farmers? Vishwas Pathak.
See, basically this thought has already been under discussion, and yes, of course that can be implemented. But there are certain issues. Who is rich farmer, who is not rich farmer, who is what kind of crop he is taking, because the nature of crop also decides what kind of farmers you are.
So it's very easy. It's very easy for that. And I find this very amusing, and I bring in our economists also. It's very amusing that a government can tell very easily whether any individual has made 10,000 rupees more than you made last year, and they will charge you tax on that 10,000 rupees extra. You are also a government that currently through Digital India says that you can wire a subsidy straight into a farmer's bank account because you've linked everything through Aadhaar. You are also a government right now that tells us that you can give a farm loan waiver to a farmer who has more than 5 acres of land and less than 5 acres of land. But you can't tell who is a rich farmer. How is that possible? Vishwas Pathak.
No, of course it is possible. What I am trying to say, that the nature of crop normally decides what kind of farmer you are.
You're dodging my question.
No, I am not dodging. So what your suggestion?
It's not about the nature of crop. It is about the income.
No, I fully agree. This must be debated, and this can be decided also accordingly.
No, that is one.
It requires a wider debate on that. And I'm not denying on that.
We should have that debate. Sumanth, Raman, that's a very weak answer. And we know the finance minister came out and said it's absolutely out of the question.
No, first of all, the distinction between rich farmer, poor farmer and all we will make. There are people who are today declaring 20 crore, 30 crore, 40 crore, 100 crore as agricultural income. We are all aware of it. In fact, in Maharashtra, I'm sure you remember the classical case of a very senior politician's daughter who had actually declared several crores as agricultural income on a very small land holding, which caused a big furor a few years ago.
Yes.
So now the question is, if somebody is actually declaring agricultural income above a particular amount, why not tax it is a question that would come. Second, very importantly, it is possible to distinguish between a rich farmer and a poor farmer based on the quantum of land holdings and based on, I mean, you have guideline values for registering properties. Now, obviously, this in agriculture, it will be different because it is bound to change based on the season, based on the drought, based on the climatic conditions, the yield and so on. But that is not difficult to quantify for a district or for a state. So there are enough number of people who are available to actually do this work and collect a reasonable amount of tax from those who are actually earning a large amount of money. And I'm sure that this can be a significant revenue source for the nation. And we're not interested in doing that. We're not interested in even differentiating or addressing the issues that are going to solve the problems of the farmers. Every 5 years, we will write off loans. And this is actually in a way unfair because there are so many small borrowers in other sectors.
First, don't interrupt into pricing of the farm produce. First, set the pricing of the farm produce
collapses. He doesn't get any benefit.
No.
How is he worse off than a farmer?
No, see, actually,
how is he worse off than a farmer?
So Yogesh Pande,
farmers will accept. You should tax farmers, no issue, but he should be able to have his own price. Now, India have imported 14 million tons of edible oil. 2 months back, we imported 5 lakh tons sugar. We are importing onions. We are importing tur. Why there is an intervention? Farmers are ready. You tax us. First, ensure that farmers are in profit.
Yogesh Pande, the question is this. Yogesh Pande, the question is this. Whether there's minimum support price or no minimum support price, if there is an agriculturist, I don't even think we should call these people farmers. If there is an agriculturist who is declaring an income of above 1 crore rupees, income, not
he has to be
that, shouldn't that person pay a tax? Shouldn't that person pay a tax?
He has to be taxed.
Help the burden of those farmers who have 1 acre of land, 1 cow, and they're growing so little that they can barely buy seed for the next season. Now, those farmers be helped?
Faye, please give me 2 minutes. Now, all the politicians who have declared themselves as a farmer are a multi-billion rich farmers. If you take the election affidavits filed by all politicians and look at their land holdings and the amount, the profits they are earning each year. Now, if you see the affidavit filed in 2009 election and 2014 election, their wealth has grown by 500%, and they show themselves as on record as the farmers. Definitely, these people should be taxed. Now, when there was yesterday's agreement between the farmers' unions and government, farmers are very responsible and most responsible. They requested government that only the genuine farmer will get loan waiver. Those who are totally depending on farmers. Now, there are other people like government employees, the professionals, some traders, business person, the people who are having other source of income, definitely they will not get loan waiver, and we will ensure that this loan waiver will only be passed to needy farmer and not other who is in a disguise of the farming sector. Now the issue is how to create the wealth from where this amount has to be will be garnered. Now there is a lot of land holding. If you go through records for last 15-20 years, lot of land of the farmer had been acquired by corporate sector for industry. Farmers have wholeheartedly by both hands given this land for the development of this nation. Now there is a requirement of 10 acre land, but 300, 500 acre land has been taken, and that land is used as a gardens. Now you take it in Pune or in Mumbai, you will find luxurious gardens, showers, everything.
You know, one second. Yogesh Pande, I think there is a misunderstanding as there is always between the agriculturists and the urban Indians. Now, I will point out to you that nowhere in urban India do we have big luxurious gardens. We would like to have big luxurious gardens, but we don't have them. In fact, what we have is smoke and smog and a lack of fresh air. So we have to be actually, and this is the reason why we have to have this conversation.
Because farm loan waiver,
don't understand each other.
There should be national policy on farm loan waiver. Government of India should come forward.
Mr. Venkateshwar, please accept the fact that your parties are playing politics. You want a national policy because you are not in the national government right now. That is why you are pushing for a national policy.
You don't play politics
both the parties
with
are playing
farmers' issues. Farmers are committing suicide.
Okay, so tell me something, Mr. Venkateshwar. You said, and I'm quoting you, you said the problem in Karnataka is not caused by the government, it is caused by, one second, listen to me.
Farmers' problems are national issue.
Mr. Venkateshwar, you said, hang on, sir. Listen to me. You said the problem in Karnataka is caused by droughts and bad rains. Your government has now been in power for nearly a full term minus 6 months. Why haven't you done more for irrigation? Why is North Karnataka so badly irrigated? Why is it, one second, the state of Karnataka is still only 23% irrigated. What about the rest of it? How much have you improved it since you took over? Please tell me. Why are you still only 23% irrigated in the state of Karnataka?
No, please do not deviate from the main subject. Today's subject is farmer loan waiver.
They need a loan waiver because you've not done your job.
It's a country's problem.
No.
Government of India should come out with a national policy for
irrigation,
farm loan waiver.
Providing irrigation to farmers is the government's job. Have you or have you not done your job?
Farmers, why they are incurring losses? Because of lack of support price, because of lack of rainfall, because of drought condition.
Drought conditions and lack of rainfall should be solved with irrigation. How much irrigation have you done in the state of Karnataka? How much irrigation have you progressed in the state of Karnataka?
Why are they dependent on rainfall?
You ask how governments
years after independence, why are they dependent on rainfall still?
The funds.
No, you're not answering my question. You're asking yourself your own questions. How much irrigation progress has the government of Karnataka, Mr. Venkateshwar? Venkateshwar, one nimsha, sir. One nimsha. Venkateshwar, Mr. Venkatesh, how much irrigation progress has the state of Karnataka made for the farmers since you took over? Please tell me.
For the last 4 years, government of Karnataka has been earmarking at the rate of minimum 10,000 crores for the year.
For what?
Over 4 years of government,
for what?
Around 40,000 crores has been earmarked for irrigation. All the projects are in progress.
How much irrigation has improved?
No
it is currently 23% irrigated, the state of Karnataka. Just so our viewers can understand, the state of Punjab is 95% irrigated.
40,000 crores has been earmarked over 4 years for irrigation.
You're marking money, I mean I can do,
budget allocation,
but how much irrigation has actually happened, you're not able to tell me. You're not able to tell me how much you've improved.
Today's problem is farmers' suicides. Farmer is in need of money. So first find out a solution.
I'm telling you the solution to do your job. You're doing your job is the solution. But neither government wants to do their job. We have established, one second, we have established over the last 10 days that no government is focusing on minimum support price. No government is focusing on cold chaining. No government is focusing on
other means. There are several other ways where resources can be found through excise and other resources. Therefore, I wish Government of India should come out with a national policy.
Shame on you. One second, I want to take one phone call. Rajkumar is on the phone line from Bangalore. Rajkumar is on the phone line from Bangalore. Rajkumar, very quickly, this is a member of your government who says the government of India should bear the brunt. I'm saying that no government has done their job. Nobody has improved the status of farmers in the country. And they should take responsibility. They should say sorry before they expect us to pick up the tab. Urban India and middle class India will pick up the tab. But the government should first say sorry. Sorry, we failed you, we failed the farmers, we failed the country. That's why we are here today. Rajkumar.
273 million tons of food grains.
Hello.
They've made India self-sufficient in food grains. So we should be proud of them.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, you are able to hear me?
Yes, Rajkumar, yes. Go ahead very quickly. I don't have to
see, what I am seeing is that government has to bring into the permanent solutions. They cannot dance on the temporary solutions or temporary gimmicks, dramas like farm waiver, loan waiver. Loan waiver is definitely hitting the taxpayers and which may not go for the good cause also. Many a time, actually, what happens is farmer is not given the guarantee of his price, how much he can earn in a year. Just like salary we are earning per year or per month, they are not able to earn out of their products. So there if the government pitches in, I'll tell you some of the simple solutions. If government fixes like price, minimum price for the farmer to buy the product by anyone, including any superstore or a normal vendor, whoever wants to middleman, they have to buy at a fixed price. In a year, for example, potato, like 15 rupees is the fixed price.
Right,
if they buy and sell it at 20 rupees to the consumer, only 20 rupees, not more. So in between, they can make the margins properly. Rather now, what is happening is many a time farmer products are bought at 2 rupees and sold at 20 rupees.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I've run out of time on this discussion, but I do want to bring up one thing. Our farmers, there is no doubt about the fact that our marginalized farmers are in desperate need for our help, and they are in desperate need for support from urban India and support from the rest of the country. It is help that must come. But for our various state governments who expect the taxpayer to pick up this bill, we will pick up the bill, but I have one condition. I have one condition for our state governments and all our state governments. Give us an audit. I want to know how many cold chains you've actually set up, how many godowns you've actually set up. I want to know how much minimum price you've actually worked, how your APMCs are actually working, how much money are you spending on junkets, how much money are you spending on irrigation. And if every corporate can allow its books to be audited, I demand that every government be audited as well. When governments turn around and say like there's some kind of generous gods that we have earmarked 10,000 crore rupees every year for irrigation, where did the money go? How many new farmers, how many new pieces of land, how many new areas got water? Give me a report. Send a third-party independent auditor to the ground to tell us whether the farmer is getting water or not. Stop lying to us. Stop turning everything into your cheap political gimmick. Stop making money off the farmers. Stop making votes off the farmers. And stop making money out of us as taxpayers. Audit your books. If you've allocated money, tell us where the money has gone. How many farmers did you save? If one more farmer has to die in this country, it will be blood on your hands. Because now we've given you the money for the waiver. Now where are your excuses? All you people are doing is getting ready for your next election. That is all you care about. You don't care about the taxpayers and you don't care about the farmers. And it's time for accountability. Nothing less than simple accountability will do, and this is to every single state government. Show us your books, we want to be able to audit them. Thanks for watching.